Welcome to section 10, and in this particular module what we're going to take a look at is updating resources. And let's take a look at the learning goals for this particular section. So we're going to implement persistence when updating resources in the API. So we're going to give the users the ability to update their profile in this particular section. And what we're also going to gain an understanding of, we're going to go back to our Angular template forms and use them again, and add a couple of extra things this time rather than just the very basics we looked at last time. One of them is a can deactivate root guard. We looked at can activate earlier on to protect a resource, but we can also go the other way if you like. We can track to see if a user's entered something in a form, and if they click away from the page or the browser, then we can prompt them to say, are you sure this is what you want to do, because you're going to lose your data. We're also going to take a look at another decorator called the viewChild. This gives us the opportunity to access elements in our templates from our components. So we'll be taking a look at that as well. Obviously we're going to be persisting changes to the API because we're going to need to update a user. And what we're also going to take a look at in this section is adding loading indicators to our client application. At the moment, we've got a blazingly fast application. Everything happens instantly. And it's hard to say that that's a realistic way that things are going to be, because we're going to publish our application eventually, and it's going to live on the cloud. And it could be very far away. And that means things are going to take time to come back from our API. So we want to give the users an indication that something is happening. And what we're also going to take a look at in this section is caching of our data. At the moment we're just storing our data in our component application, and as soon as we click away from a component, all of that data is lost and we have to go back to the API to get it again. And we're going to deal with that in this section by using Angular services to store our data so it's always available. And that's what's coming up.